we're back with another recording. Today we are with Christine from 4110 Thread. So Christine's actually been quite an exciting client. This is a bit of a different type of podcast. Christine's still pretty new on the scene. She sort of has took COVID and sort of embraced it and took that time to actually discover some of the things that she actually has enjoyed. And I have to say our products are fantastic. So hi Christine, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
So basically let's get down. How did you start up, or where are you from? Actually, let's start that way. Where are you from?
Oh, well, here I'm from good old Tandragee, but you know, that old fell in love, got married and moved to the back end of nowhere, which is formerly known as Ballyfaraway. So just outside Carrick. I'm kind of in between Carrickfergus and Larne. So
we won't hold that against you, so we won't.
my heart
I think
still lies in Tandragee.
I think Larne is the only other town that basically has just as bad of a name as Lurgan. So it's I think it's a competition now between the two towns. And you're married, you've got kids, and you decided well, actually, no, how did you start up this whole business?
It all started with the scrub drive. I tried to be a part of another scrub drive and I couldn't get anybody to give me anything. And I thought, fine, I'll just start with myself. And I came across a verse. I'm a Christian, and I came across a verse of Isaiah 41:10. Then the name came, and I think I made 33 or 34 scrubs in a week, just firing them out with two kids running around me. And that's basically how it started with the name. And then I did some masks. I did that, and then I thought, I love Irish linen. I've worked with a girl, and I just love it. There's just something really luxurious about it. And in a market where crafters will probably struggle, Irish linen still holds its quality and it still holds its name. I thought, why don't I just give this a whirl? Because obviously I don't really want to be making scrubs and I don't want to be making masks. So that's kind of how it was born, really. I just want to do a business to do something with the kids. So that's how it was born.
Yeah, and it's really interesting because like we're not really that far away from each other. So like Portadown and Lurgan in particular, we're massive big linen industry towns. Lurgan more so than Portadown. Portadown tends to be more known as the market and like a trader's town, while Lurgan was a market town, but it also was heavily known for its linen industry. So it's really sad that Lurgan doesn't still hold, like you can still see one of the old linen buildings in Guildford there. So it's very interesting that was your calling and you come from an area that it's very renowned for it. And like I know we've talked briefly about this in the past. So you were saying that your name comes from reading, isn't that correct?
Yeah, a Bible verse. Yeah,
a Bible verse.
Yeah.
And like, is there a story? Is there, do you know, can you remember the line off by heart? I know that I'm putting you on the spot here.
Fear not, for I am with you. Be not dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you, I will help you, and I will uphold you. And that it just was the time when everything was up in the air with COVID. People were going to work, nurses, Christian nurses, non-Christian nurses, doctors, they were just going into this. They didn't know what they were going into, and it was just a reminder, you know, don't fear, just trust what's there.
I think that's interesting because as some people might know, I myself am still a care worker and I'm also a nursing assistant within the hospitals. So I only do banking in the hospitals, and I still am doing my domiciliary care in my local area. And I know so many people who I had been offered the scrubs. Unfortunately, I did prefer just the uniforms at the time. But I know a lot of people who were just so grateful of having those scrubs, because I know that in our house, I had to constantly wash my uniform. So as soon as I got home from a shift, I had to go and wash my uniform, and it was horrible. It was a horrible, horrible time. I never want to experience it again, where my own children were fearful of touching me just as soon as I came in through the door. I had so much so that my 5-year-old used to march me down to my bedroom or into the bathroom for me to take off me. He then watched me shower because he's mummy's boy, and only whenever I got out of the shower that he knew that that was safe for him to give me a big hug. And it was the most crucifying time. And there's an awful lot of our crafters and even non-crafters who were just good with the sewing machine that stepped up. And I just personally want to say thank you to all of you, because you do not understand how much it's meant to a lot of the cure industries. And I don't think it's our forgotten heroes, but you are definitely the unsung heroes. People like ourselves will always remember. And I think it's even more amazing that you are one of these small crafting industry businesses that have came out of that. And the idea that I find it really funny, because the phrase, the reading that you've just said, it nearly also describes linen, because linen is quite a tough wee material, and it's still delicate at the same time, which I always find amazing. And that's the reason why, like, we constantly get asked for Irish linen in our store and online. And we do have a common friend. Unfortunately, we both know Sharon. And
for that.
I don't care. I just feel sorry for her pupils. But Sharon and I played rugby together, and this is how I got to know Christine. And I remember Christine shared your stuff on Facebook, and I was all like, I want to meet her. And Sharon turned around. I just remember Sharon said, like, I knew you would bite. But I hadn't got seeing your stuff up until recently. So how did the whole linen, because I think your stuff is beautiful, but I want you to talk me through, like, how did you get the linen? Like, because it is genuine linen that you're actually using, Belfast made.
No, I work in Northern Regional College, and a new course had kind of come up, and I wanted to change the course a bit and kind of bring back the textile industry. So passionate that we have lost so much of our industry. Like, it's non-existent pretty much. Like, mills are being turned into hotels and apartments and all the rest of it. So through that, I started researching and found that there's a place up in Kells called Bird McNutt, and they manufacture and dye linen. So I got to go and view it and see how but this is pre-COVID, obviously. Got to go and see the whole process of stuff, and then once I finished teaching whenever I had my second little one, because it was just too hard. We don't really have family close to us, so there's nobody to babysit, so I just give that up. So that's always been in the back of my mind going, I know where I can get linen. So I had made a contact there, so I just went back to the contact when I decided to go for the linen, and I said, pull me out X, Y, and Z. This is what I need. This is what I want it for. And that's what they done for me. I was able to go and pick it up. And Irish linen, 100%.
No, I mean, I think it's actually amazing, like that there is still places over here, like, because we know some of the big guys, Ulster Weavers, we know, it's one of them nights in Banbridge.
Fergus.
Yes, thank you. Like Ferguson Linen, another local giant, and we know that they've been about for centuries. Like they're big names. So the idea that there's still small guys still making it, and there's still this access linen just there. I find it like, and I loved your stuff because it's not that harsh linen that you can get. It's quite a nice soft linen, and like so not that long ago we actually we sent napkins over to Italy, for instance. And Italy are calling out for linen. which I find amazing. I had a really good chat with the girl who's originally from over here, and like she absolutely loved the product. And so, so much so that there's been a lot more interaction, happening. So by the time this podcast come out, you'll actually already have seen some of the samples of Christine's work online, because we will have a video. And like, Christine, you've got some of the wee samples there. So like, just talk us through your product range. So you tend to do household linen bits and pieces, but you have sort of you've done dresses now for kids in the past, haven't you?
I've gone through lots of different stages. From coming out of degree, I've kind of gone from making formal dresses, to flower crown dresses, to making linen. But at the minute, I'm kind of staying towards napkins, really pretty napkins. Look how beautiful that blue is.
It's a gorgeous royal blue.
I do napkins, I do tea towels. I recently made 9 bags. They're called origami bags. I don't know if you can do that.
Yes, they've become very big shopping bags. Yeah. People are liking them especially just if you're running to the corner shop type of bags, because they're one of them bags that but they hold so much.
But they're like huge. You just wonder what you're going to do with it. I've got that. I'm currently making a weighted table. If you're outside, the worst thing when the wind comes and you're having a picnic outside, everything starts to blow.
Yeah. I
am currently trying to make a weighted tablecloth, so it's got weights on 4 corners, so then it should effectively just drape over the side. I can't remember what else I made. Table runners, table napkins, tea towels.
I have to say, Christine does this gorgeous. They're blue and white stripe, and they are just absolutely. They are stunning. Do you have one?
I've got this stripe. This is a prototype for pajama shorts.
Oh, just the right time of year to be introducing them.
Flip from one thing to the other.
No, how are you finding? So, like, this is still a whole new process for you. So, how are you finding trying to break into the scene and sort of trying to develop your business? How are you fighting all of that?
I find it really difficult, but I find it really difficult because I have no confidence in myself. So I will be all guns blazing and I will make a mass of stuff. And I will be so like, this is amazing and I'm loving it. And then I have to price it, or I have to sell it, or I have to market it. And see, at that part, I just can't. I almost just can't. I get to this part where I'm afraid that people won't think the quality's there. I think that people think that, oh my goodness. Or somebody will come along, that a friend of a friend, and they'll say, but you can get linen in Danann for like $8.99. And I'm sitting there going, right, well, I might as well I'll just hang up the coat and that's fine. I'll just put it to the side and whatever, I really struggle with that, but it takes the likes of Sharon or Neil that comes back and goes, but Christine, you're selling yourself short. Your stuff is good. You just have to put yourself out there. But it is like the confidence part for me, the anxiety of of people judging me, or I think that's probably true for a lot of people. You either don't give a crap what people think, or you give too much of a crap what people think, and you're just absolutely stuck. So I'll go through a stage where I'll sell lots of things and think, oh, that's really good. And then one person will say something negative and I'll not do anything for maybe a month. It's not, it needs to be a business where it's consistent, but
I think what you're saying is so, I mean, like it's actually one of them untold things that all us crafters, sorry, I've just generalized myself in alongside crafters, but all of the crafters they've all been through that, some still, and they keep going out. And like I have like as someone who's been running craft fairs and been working in this industry now for 8 years, like even I will even I'll tell anyone, like, I mean, up until about 2-3 years ago, I wouldn't even call myself a business person. Which is and everybody, like, because a lot of people know me. I'm not exactly overly shy, but I'm actually not as confident as what a lot of people think, so I'm always determined to put myself out there to support the crafters. But one thing always hearing, from it is that, the confidence in your product. I mean, your product is top class, like your product is really good quality. Your finish, I mean, your finish, you do the edges, you have them all pristine. You've even got this most beautifulest label, and it's so nice and clean. And yet whenever I was talking to you, it was one of the things that astounded me the most is that you weren't confident in your product. But I know the only thing I would say is that with crafting, it does come in time. And I think a lot of people do need to hear that, how, like, even in the store, I would get people coming into me, and I'm just going to use Tesco's as an example, mainly because it's my nearest big store in the town, but I would have people coming into me and going like, I can buy that in Tesco's. And like, I'm not even going to say, I actually, one day I got so tired hearing that, I actually turned around and I challenged a customer. And I was like, you know what? And I was like, go you up the town. And I was like, I want you to go and buy. And they were looking at this big wooden bowl. It was the most beautifulest wood turn bowl. The bowl itself was about £75, but it weighed a ton, and it was solid oak. It was gorgeous. And I said to them, I was like, look, if you want the bowl, and I said, you go up into Tesco's and you buy a bowl exactly like this, solid oak, and I will refund you your money or the difference, and I will give you that bowl for your Tesco's bowl. And the customer, well, didn't come back. Because I know fine rightly, I think there's a difference between saying that, a product is beautiful and you can't afford it, or it's just not for you. But you have to learn how to control that, because I think, Christine, what you've just said, there's a prime example that a lot of new crafters experience, and where I find sometimes there's a high turnover in amazing crafters and artists is because is because of that. But pricing and everything else, it's something that will come in time. Like, I know that you have undersold yourself on a few products, and we have sat and we have chatted, and we will go through that. But again, you've put a price on a product because that's what you feel you should be selling, because are you judging it on what you see in shops? Are you judging it on your time, effort, and material?
I probably judge it on fear of looking like a money grabber. I don't think, unless you're a crafter, unless you actually sit and watch somebody, people, it frustrates me, because, people are turning around going, what Tesco's, what Dunelm, what whatever other, the range or whatever. But they feel to see that as a crafter, as an individual, we're not cutting 100 layers at a time. You're cutting one thing at a time. You're sewing one line at a time. It's not going from me to you to person number 3, person number 4. It's not a production line. It's just me. It's me sitting here sewing away. People forget that I have to do the cutting. I have to do the sewing. I have to do the pressing. I have to do the polycheck. I have to do the packaging. There's this whole big, there's this whole big production that needs to happen, but there's only one person that does it one at a time. And that, I think I just price based on what I think people will buy it for. And I totally, like, me and my husband, like, I've totally had words about this. Me and my dad's like, stop being so silly. And he's like, why are you selling this so cheap? People will either want it or they won't want it, and that's just it. But it's just getting the confidence to go, right, whatever, that's,
You know, and I think this is the reason why Christine's going to be the first follow-up, because I am going to be helping Christine on a one-to-one basis, trying to get her
Okay,
product
cool.
up get her product up and running, because she has the quality. It's just it is one of those things that a lot of people find very daunting at the beginning, and by the end of it she'll probably be doing exactly what I'm doing, sitting here chatting to everybody about the stuff.
Not sure.
But Christine, I can honestly say it has been a real pleasure. Our time is actually nearly up, believe it or not. And it has just been such a nice chat, because I think you've covered so many things, and as a new crafter that has just came out of the COVID, it is amazing to actually hear these stories, and I can't wait to get talking to you again and seeing whereabouts you are. And yeah, so it's I am looking forward to it. But again, to everyone, if you want to check out Christine's, all of her stuff is on our website, www.dananncrafts.com. Her crafting name is 4010 Thread. So if you go online, you will see her stuff. You can check more of her stuff out on Facebook and on Instagram. Am I correct?
Yep.
But yeah, thanks so much for joining me today, Christine.
No, thank you. Thanks for having us.
And yeah, just stay tuned for the wee follow-up on that. And yeah, thanks very much. See you later. Bye.